Hello, welcome to our first ever online advising for KHP students. We are excited to offer this resource for you to remove your hold. I will move rather quickly through this video, however, many of the tools I am using have been linked on this Blackboard site on the page Online Advising Resources. First, I want to talk to you about academic standing. As you can see from the chart on my computer, there's at-risk, probation, and probation with contract. At-risk is below a 2.2 but above a 2.0. Probation is below a 2.0, and probation with contract is dependent upon your class level. If you get a C- or below in a course, you can retake that course, and if you get the same or better grade, you can use grade forgiveness. Grade forgiveness is now done automatically for semester-to-semester courses. You have 16 units of grade forgiveness to use throughout your time here at CPP. If you took a quarter course and you would like to do grade forgiveness with a semester course, please come into the Advising Center to see an advisor and write that petition. If you're struggling in a course, please come in and see us. There are withdrawal periods during the term, so make sure to come see an advisor at the first sign of distress. Now I want to talk to you about your curriculum sheet. Your curriculum sheet is a very important document because this is your contract with the university. You are required to meet all the requirements on your curriculum sheet to obtain your degree. So let's look at a student on the quarter curriculum. This student, Elizabeth, started her career at Cal Poly in 2016. She is still on the fall 2016 curriculum. So to find her curriculum sheet, we would go to the internet. We could search curriculum sheet CPP. It would take us to this web page. Again, she's on the 2016 College of Science, Kinesiology. She's exercise science. So this is what Elizabeth would be required to complete. So she has her required core courses, required subplan, and required support. So these 20, 55, and 17 units are all required. Then she has 36 units of elective support courses. She will choose these elective support courses, and then 68 units of GEs. Now, quarter students, you may be wondering, well, the course that is on my quarter curriculum sheet is no longer being offered in semesters. Thankfully, Dr. Chase, the chair of the KHP department, has made a KHP projected course offering sheet and replacement list. So every class that is on your quarter curriculum sheet should be accounted for. If you use these two resources that I'm going to show you, you should be able to see what class you need to take to fulfill every requirement. If you are on the quarter curriculum, you will need to use these resources to complete your academic worksheet. Remember, this is linked in the Online Advising Resources page. So say your curriculum sheet says you need to take KIN 425, lecture and activity. But that's no longer offered in semesters. So from this list, you know that you need to take KIN 4990 as soon as possible with this professor. Another example, say KIN 430 is on your curriculum sheet. This one says you can use unused units or take an approved elective to get credit for that class. So again, if we look at the curriculum sheet, every class needs to be accounted for, and if it's no longer offered in semesters, then you need to look at that replacement list. So Dr. Chase also made the projected course offerings. So courses that are quarter to semester would be on here. So say you're wondering what 403 is going to be in semesters, you can see KIN 303 and KIN 403 have combined to be KIN 3030. So if you take KIN 3030 in semesters, you would get the equivalent of KIN 303 and 403 lecture and lab. Okay, so say you started here in 2016, like Elizabeth, but you switched your curriculum to the new curriculum, fall 2018. So this is what it would look like on your degree progress report. So this is Jen. She started in 2016, but if you see, she is now on the Kinesiology 2018 General Option Plan. So when she's looking at her degree requirements, she should be looking at the curriculum sheet for fall 2018. So these are the degree requirements that Jen should be following. Okay, so again, required, and then this is where Jen gets to pick 28 units. Be strategic with these units. As you can see, genetics and human issues, this counts as an option elective, but it also counts as a B5. So you can get credit in your GE area and your option electives. This section right here, this is just a breakout of these classes. So you only need 28 units here, and if you need help on an emphasis, this breaks it down for you, but this is not an additional number of units needed. You just need 39, 10, 28, and then your GEs, which should be 48 units. One more thing that's really important to remember, you need 120 units to graduate. So like I said before, some of these classes can double count in electives and GEs, so it's important that you are also making sure that you're going to meet that 120 units. Okay, let's look at one other student. So this is Dylan. So Dylan started at Cal Poly in fall 2019. He is still on the fall 2019 curriculum. Okay, so this looks pretty similar. Sometimes it can change year to year. So again, 39 units major required, 10 units required. You choose 28 units, option electives. Again, this is where you can tailor your degree towards what you want to do. One thing I would also recommend, if you're planning on going to a graduate school, a master's or doctoral program, this is a good area to where you can take your prerequisites. Just like there are differences in curriculum sheets, there are differences in GE patterns. So if you are a quarter student, I would recommend using the GE tool. So this is a great tool. Again, you can just Google GE tool and say you're on the quarter curriculum. And again, we know how to view that. We know to look at the top of our degree progress report. And say you want to take a D2, because that's missing. So on the quarter curriculum, a D2 are any of these classes. So agriculture and the modern world, this was the quarter class. This is a class in semesters that you would take. That will fulfill a D2, okay? Now, say you're on the semester curriculum. A D2 is just one class on the semester curriculum. So again, this is why it's very important to know your curriculum year and then know what classes to take. Let me show you another way to look at GEs if you're on the semester curriculum. If you go to the catalog, you can just type in catalog CPP and then general education program. At the very bottom, general education course list. Okay, while we're here in the catalog, I want to show you one way to look up course prerequisites. As a kinesiology student, prerequisites are very, very important. So everyone has to take Kin 3040 because it is a core requirement. So let's look up Kin 3040 in the catalog and see what the prerequisites for that course are. Kin 3040. Introduction to Biomechanics. So the prerequisites for Kin 3040 are Bio 2340, lecture, lab, stats, physics, lecture, and lab. You have to have these prerequisites met before you take Kin 3040. So when you're doing your academic worksheet, when you're planning for spring, fall, even summer, make sure that you're planning accordingly. Another place where you can see prerequisites is on the sheet that Dr. Chase created. So if we look at Kin 3040, again we see this Bio 2340, stats, and physics. Now I'm going to show you an example of a semester degree progress report. Again, your degree progress report is found in Bronco Direct. So we'll look at Jen Smith. Again, she started in fall 2016. She switched her curriculum to fall 2018. She has a 2.9 overall, a 2.9 CPP GPA. Let me point out some things to you. Many students do not know where to find their core GPA. There is a box titled GPA Requirements. You can see all three of your GPAs, your higher education, your Cal Poly, and your core. So Jen's core GPA is at 3.0. All three of these GPAs need to be a 2.0 or above for you to graduate. So these are all the courses that are counting towards Jen's core. Again, core is just those core requirements for your degree. Okay, so now we have gotten to GE Area A. A green check mark means that that GE has been completed. So this has been completed, Area A. Now, some of you will see all green check marks, but then it will still be red and it will say missing 0.68 or 0.68 needed. That will be fixed when they go to graduate you. You do not need to worry about that. Okay, so area A is done, area B is done. Area C, Jen is finishing. She is taking one class in spring that will fulfill that area. Area D is completed. Area E is completed. Now this is for the kinesiology major requirements. So as you can see, this student took Bio 115 on quarters. They are getting credit for Bio 1150 and 1150 lab. Again, this 0.67 will be fixed when they go to Graduate U. The student does not need to take any other classes to fulfill this bio area. Bio 2340, lecture and lab still need to be completed. If I was advising the student one-on-one, I would let them know that they need to complete this course as soon as possible because as we saw, it is a prerequisite for another course, KIN 3040. Student still has KIN 2050 to complete. They're taking KIN 2200. Again, that KIN 3040 needs to be completed. Anything with a red box needs your attention. Okay, so now we're here at the elective section. As we saw on the curriculum sheet, Jen needs 28 electives to satisfy this area. Jen has taken 20.66 and it will show you the courses that she has taken that go towards this area. She still needs 7.34. So one place to look for units is in courses unused at the very bottom of your degree progress report. I've highlighted some courses that I want to show you. So for this student, we could petition FN 235 and KIN 2700 to go in this elective area. When we petition these courses, they will show up here. This will not fulfill the 7.34, but it will get Jen closer to fulfilling that area. As you saw, Jen was also missing KIN 2050. Now she has KIN 2070 down here. We have gotten approval that we can use KIN 2070 to fulfill KIN 2050. Again, this would need to be petitioned in our office with an advisor. Okay, I also want to show you an unofficial transcript. So this is the very bottom of an unofficial transcript. Again, like I said, you need 120 units to graduate. This student has completed 89.33. This number is not taking into account the spring term because no grades have been added. Once the student gets a passing grade, then the 16 will go to the 89.33. Again, in order to be eligible for graduation, you have to have 120 units in courses earned, but just keep in mind that it won't be counting the courses that you haven't been graded for. I want to show you an academic success worksheet. Now this is where you get to take all that we have went over and put it into practice. This is an example of an academic success worksheet. This is what you will need to do to get your hold removed. You will need to download this, fill it out, and submit it. I want to show you a few things. So we went over curriculum year. So all of you should be able to see what your curriculum year is on your degree progress report. We also went over GPA, so you should know your cumulative, Cal Poly, and core GPA and where to find that on your DPR. The hold that you're removing is your annual or semester advising hold. Okay, in this part, you want to put in what GEs you have left. This student has planned for the next semesters appropriately. One thing I want to point out to you, this student is taking Math 1060 because it is the prereq for physics. And then physics and anatomy are the prereqs for KIN 3040. So again, this is an appropriate way to schedule your classes. We would like students to plan for about 15 units a term, and summer we recommend about 2 classes. If you're graduating, maybe in the spring term you can just write graduating so we know to look into that. Also, if you have a CEAS hold, this form will remove your advising hold and your CEAS hold. So, what I don't want to see on your planner is courses that are prerequisites of each other in the same term, quarter courses, or a course that you have already taken. We will ask you to redo your worksheet if we see these types of errors mentioned before. Lastly, we will look through the academic success worksheets in the order we have received them. Once we receive your planner and it is filled out correctly, we will remove your hold. If we see any issues, you'll be contacted via your CPP email. Please allow up to 5 business days for your hold to be removed. The deadline to submit your planner is April 1st. Please watch this video again if need be. You can do this, take your time, and have fun planning your time here at CPP. Thank you. Bye.